All right, I want to show you, this is the window where impossible light activity. See that flashing of light? Those are demons. This is speaking to specific knowledge. And this light activity, that's sparking, flashing of light, that's directed light, that's impossible light activity. And as I sit at this computer, the entity is touching my face with light, touching my person as I sit here. This is the iteration of the same exact demonic pattern: stalking with light, molestation with light, terrorism with light, while minions are monitoring the documentation. So the more infuriated Satan becomes, the more Satan engages in this touching with this flashing light, this accosting with light, and does it while group stalking is underway. That is group stalking. Those are demons stalking in the path. Maintaining presence in the environment, monitoring with communication devices. All right, surrounding the venue. The fake sun is over the venue, filling the venue with what is impossible light activity, as I'm showing you on the grounds, and also touching with what is directed light. And I'm capturing this video at 4:05 p.m. Because as I captured the previous video, the entity is, this is group stalking. They're keeping their back while the entity is flashing directed light inside of the venue. They're a bunch of demons. The entity is maintaining the light source over the Chino branch library. This is called crossing path. This is a minion that's coming to engage in monitoring. In doing so, at 4:05 p.m., I'm at the Stater Brothers entrance, okay? And the light source is remaining directly over me. That's not possibly the sun. That's why it's referred to as what is the light source. The entity is stalking with light, just like you see inside of the Chino branch library, flashing with directed light. Absolutely criminal presence. 7N91022. And a sex offender touching me with the rest of those demons who are patrolling on Central Avenue and into the depths of a building. I'm being touched with light. That's a sex offender. And that's the one sitting in front of me inside of the computer lab. 7N91022. That's the one you see group stalking. He's been engaged in surveillance sitting at that computer across from me inside of the computer lab. He's also a sex offender engaging in surveillance while the entity is sounding helicopter activity. And while, just as you saw through that window, impossible light flashing in, that's a sex offender. Understand that. And all he's doing is pacing, gets out of the car, goes to and gets back in the car, and he's pacing. All right. So like I said, this is 4:05 p.m. The sun is not possibly remaining over a single address, let alone from morning until what would be afternoon. It's currently 4:08 p.m. My presence here at 9:45 p.m. the same parking lot. This is non-movement of a light source. As you isolate the P.O.C., in other words, if I only documented the P.O.C. at the same address, but I haven't. I've spanned out, and I'm showing you what is not the sun that is maintaining a mutual zenith over my head at the same time over the entrance of the Stater Brothers located at 646 West Holt. That same Stater Brothers, by the way. The entity placed the light source, which is not possibly the sun, 9:07 in the morning in that same parking lot. No, that's not the sun, even if I were to isolate the pattern of conduct just at that address in the Ontario Village Shopping Center at that Stater Brothers in Ontario, California. Whereas today I am in the city of Chino, and the entity is keeping at 4:05 p.m. the same exact maintenance of a light source, also aiming what is directed light, pushing it farther and farther into the building, and while maintaining what is methods of stalking with light, as you see through the window while I'm sitting at computer CHI 01, touching with light. That's group stalking conduct. That's demonic activity. That's the molestation by an entity. And doing so at 4:05 p.m. This is not possibly the sun that's over the entrance of, there's only one sun, okay? And the sun is not at the same time remaining over the entrance of the Stater Brothers at 646 West Holden, Ontario. Okay, and then I get on the bus and I go to Upland, California, and I arrive at 4:58 p.m. I was at the Upland Public Library this morning, and the fake sun is over me at that venue, at that intersection, the Upland City Hall. I captured that at 9:36 in the morning. When I don't stay there, the light source does not stay there. The sun is not remaining in its central presence over everyone all day long in California. Okay? And California is not the center of the universe. What the entity is doing is suggesting that. What the entity is doing is also suggesting that I myself am the center of the universe, as it keeps a light source over me, which is not possibly the sun. You're witnessing it through the duration of time. You're witnessing it through the demonic light activity. Exhibit A. You see my shadow appearing on this wall? Pay attention. This is impossible light. This is a molestation. Demons fill the venue of the library. This is another iteration of the same exact stalking with light. My shadow is appearing at a distance, upright on this wall. Okay, see my feet, that's a molestation with light. It appears that you're in the shade, you're not, light is being projected onto me. This is what's occurring on the inside as well. Demons are not walking around, demons are walking in what is engineered light that remains present at all times. That's another iteration of the same stalking with light conduct. And at 4:05 p.m., the light source is over the entryway again of Stater Brothers at 646 West Holt. That's impossible. to occur at the same time with regard to what's the natural environment and what is allegedly the sun and the way that the sun works and what is not going to be in Ontario at that Ontario village in front of that Stater Brothers, where you're also witnessing that light activity. That's the ongoing indication of stalking with light. It is indeed the unnatural environment that I'm revealing and unnatural conduct, okay? License 5FBU 454, a sex offender, 7RDG 879, 7DBD 055, 67002B3, 7EFT 823, 8V76 438, 8XVT 983, 8MIK 486, 8YVY 401, 7RJD 098, 8JSZ 410. These are just the sample. Let me be clear. The senior center, they're monitoring. The assemblyman, Frederick Rodriguez, I believe that's the assemblyman. That's a state facilitating venue. They're monitoring. All right. They're engaged in a molestation right now while the entity is touching me with light and keeping today a fake sun over the CHINO branch library. Mutually exclusive to being over the Stater Brothers in Ontario, where then I'm walking in Ontario. I'm in a totally different city. This is not the sun at the same time. Also keeping in its zenith over me in both cities at the same time. No. Okay. This is the pattern of conduct though. All right. And it is currently 4:12 p.m. This is POC.